So let's begin. We'll start by merging A1 through E1. I'm going to point to A1, hold on the left key of my mouse, drag it all the way towards E1, and release my mouse. A1 through E1 is selected. Before I begin, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Alright. Now, under my home ribbon, under alignment, I'm going to do a center and merge. Within the font, I'm going to change it to 16. Finally, the font that we're looking for is Digital Dare. To download this, please refer to my previous video, which is going to be in the description below. So I'm just going to type in Digital Dare, and there we are. Select it, hit enter, and we just formatted A1 through E1. Okay, I'm going to do a center and merge for A2 through E2. I selected it. I'm going to do a center and merge, which is under alignment. And then the size is going to be 14. B4 all the way to B16 or 18 needs to be bold. So I'm going to select B4 and I'm going to make it bold. So this is underneath the home ribbon under font. Okay, select B6, B8, and I'm going to pause for a bit. So going off script, with B8 selected, that's the font I want. On the home ribbon, underneath clipboard, I have the format painter. Here's what the format painter does. It copies the font that's in the selected cell and pastes it to whatever cell you click on. I'm going to double click on this. Your mouse pointer now has a paintbrush right next to it. So I have here B10, B12, and it's copying the styles that are within that cell. B14, 16, 18. When I'm done, hit escape on your keyboard. Alright. For cells A20 through E20, we need to center it. Not merge and center, merge. That's it. Underneath alignment, merge and center, there's an arrow. Click that arrow, choose merge cells. It needs to be text wrap, because otherwise the text will go all the way through the page. Well, not the page, the screen. And you will not see it wrap to the next line of the cell. Okay, and we want it aligned to the left. So again, within the alignment, we're going to select align left. We need to adjust the size of it because we can't see everything that's in the cell. So when I point between rows 20 and 21, you have a resizing handle. Hold on the left key of your mouse as soon as you have it, drag it down to the size you want it. Option 2. I am going to go to Format. Okay, this is underneath Cells. row height, and the row height that we want is going to be 35. Then I hit OK, and there you go. It's to the left, it's merged. The wrap basically put everything that's an overflow to the next line, and we adjusted the row height. The next topic is going to be list objects. So, just going to zoom out a bit. All right. So, first glance, this looks like a table. Now, with Excel, they have tables. They call it list objects. With a list object, they take a range of cells. In this case, it's going to be A25 to F27. So, I'm going to select it. A25, hold down the left key, drag it down till you get to F27. All right? So we're going to make this into a list object. In the insert ribbon, when you click on it, you have here tables. We're going to click table. Table and list objects are synonymous. So, I just want to kind of clarify that so there's no confusion. They're both the same thing. I click it. I have here this create table dialog box. So I'm going to briefly explain it. So they're saying that the ranges that you have are from A25, which we selected, to F27. You'll notice that there's some dollar signs. Again, we're going to explain this a little bit later. But with that, I'm just going to say this, the references. So as we go through more cell references, there are different types, and then we're going to go through that. This is especially important when we go into formulas. The second or third option, well, we'll say second option. It's asking, does your table have a header? Okay? In this case, we do. If we don't, we uncheck it. Okay? That's not a problem because, again, if it doesn't have a header, we can always overwrite it. And it's probably better that you do overwrite it because by the default, you're going to have things like column 1, column 2, column 3, and those don't really explain what your data is. And you want your data to be as descriptive and as clear as water as possible. But enough of that. I'm going to click OK. We now have a table. This brought up the design ribbon. Okay? So with the design ribbon, we have more options. So we can format the style of the table. All right? If you notice, I'm pointing at it, and it's actually funny, but it's not. It's kind of giving you previews of how your table can look. And it can look like anything you want, or you can format it in a different way. We're not going to do that just yet. So this is going to be a separate topic on its own. But, just pick the style that you want. Just go for this. A couple other options. Table style options. Okay? Well, what does this all mean? You have a total row. When you're doing data, sometimes you might want to have information in which there's some totals. So, like for instance, balance. Oh, what's the balance total? So let's say the balance total is like the sum. So we select sum. Okay? So when I did that, checking this off, we added a row, or I'll say this. Excel added a row. By default, you're going to have here total. And then from there, you can choose what total you want. Okay? If I don't want it, I uncheck it. Okay, a couple other options. Let's say that we want to have our first column to be highlighted. Okay? So it's going to make the column highlighted a specific color. Okay, that's just showing importance. Same thing with the last row. Bandit rows or bandit columns. And if you want to make your columns distinctive, you can check that off. That's up to you. By default, bandit rows are there. So these rows are easier on the eyes. Alright? Okay, you have a couple other options like export, splice. You can also remove duplicates. So if your values have duplicates in some way, those can be removed and so forth. Okay? So we're not going to go through all of this. I just want to kind of highlight these because they're easier at the moment. But I'm going to go back home. We still have to adjust this table because some of the information is not formatted properly. So, the date, for instance, that is not a date. Let me introduce you to the number within the home ribbon. Okay, so number formats allow you to format, in this case, a range of cells based on what you specify. So, if you notice, I point it right at date. And then you see that the mouse pointer changed into an arrow. Okay, I just have to click it once. If I click it twice, the whole column selects, including the header row. I don't want that. So I'm going to click it one more time. Only the values are selected. Now, I have a couple options to format this as a date. I can go up here and I can select short date. Or, sorry about that, I was trying to click out of it. I can go here, pulling up the format menu or number format menu, which should have popped up. And I can select date, which gives me more options. Okay? So, I'm going to keep this simple. And what says simple than this? And hit OK. Alright. The month. Now, the month in this case is going to be a little bit different. We need to have basically the month abbreviation followed by the year. Okay? I'm going to pull up the number format dialog box again. I go into date. You'll notice that that combination is not in the list. Okay? I mean, I see a month and a day, but we need a year. We don't need a day. So, you got to go to custom. Okay? Now, if you do not have this already added onto it, don't worry about it. I'm going to kind of explain it right now. Okay. So, there are certain texts and numbers, and basically, they're a way of handling particular pieces of information. So, in the case of date, you have M for month, D for day, Y for year. And they're all handled in a particular way. For instance, month. 1M gives me the numerical value of month. Two of them Well, you're not noticing a change because months are in 2 digits, except for January all the way up to September. The two M's will add a 0 right in front of those months. So 01, 02, and so forth. 3 M's will give me the abbreviation of the month, while 4 will spell it out. I just need 3. All right. So I got that. I'm just going to put space. And then I need the year. So once again, that's Y, because I said so. 1Y gives me the year. So the last 2 digits. Same thing. Puts a 0 right in front of it. And the third one, just 3, gives me all 4. Okay? We just want 2. And we hit OK. Now, all the rest I need. So what you do is you point to D25 and then you drag it over to F. Okay? I go up here and we want currency. And voila, there we are.